So it is a Transformer Thursday today, and we have some big San Diego Comic-Con exclusive news to talk about. We're going to have probably a few segments today here on the Transformer Slag podcast. So let's jump into it. The first one we got courtesy of Hasbro Marketing sent directly to us. We have the Transformers Legacy United Voyager Class 2-pack Fractured Friendships. Again, this is going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It will be available later on Hasbro Pulse after the convention, but at the time being, it will be an SDCC item. So, what do we got here? We have an Optimus, and we have a Megatron. These are based off of their IDW designs, one of them from the Megatron Origins comic book, specifically issue number 2, and the other one based on the later Alex Milne single run of books with the, I guess we'll call it the Cop Orion Pax in this case. So let's jump into it. We're going to make sense of it like we always do here on the Transformer Slag podcast. And the first thing we are going to start with is, of course, that Megatron. So this is indeed, yet again, another repaint and retool of that Siege mold. What are we up to now? Like 11 at this point? Hasbro's really getting their money's worth out of that tooling. And, well, it still works. It still works, still does its job. But this is more so obviously a straight up repaint of the minor Megatron that we got back with the Amazon exclusives with the Rat Bat. And while it does include that new unique tooling and the weapons that it came with too that were unique to it, that pickaxe and the drill, there is some new stuff going on here. So it is pretty cool. This is based off of that Megatron that's after the minor Megatron, then this is after minor Megatron. This is the early days of his gladiatorial days just before his revolt. And it pulls directly specifically from issue number 2 of the Megatron Origins comic book in design. And, it has all those little design details, the markings of all the killings that he's done in the gladiatorial on his body. And even the 2 unique weapons that are included exclusively with this set come from this issue. The sword specifically is the sword that he used to run through the GoBot Cycle, if you want to call it GoBot Cycle. And then the Energon hammer included is the one that he used to finish the job and smash him. So those are 2 little unique pieces of death that are included with this, along with the pickaxe and drill that came originally with the minor Megatron. I love the face deco paint on this figure. It looks really good. It has that murderous vibe that Josh Perez captured so well when he did the coloring for the original Megatron Origins comic book. If you're a fan of this miniseries of books like I am, this is a must-have, especially, now that we have a whole bunch of GoBots that we could be used to get killed with all these GoBot killing weapons. And we have more GoBots coming, so, we just need a Cycle now. I dig it. I think it's good. I know that people are very tired of that Siege mold, but as someone who's a fan of those specific books and the friends who worked on it, it's nice to see those go from the pages to plastic, and that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Optimus Prime, but in this case, this is Orion Pax during his cop days. And it is different, of course, from the data manager Orion Pax. This is now when he worked as a Cybertronian police officer. And it's quite the extensive retool of the Voyager class Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. So from like the ab region down, it's pretty much all the same tooling of that mold, the abs, the hips, the legs, all of that. But the upper half of the body is completely reworked. New head, new chest, new arms. Only thing that's really kept is the fists itself and obviously the inner workings of the transformation, which we'll get into in a moment. This new upper body and all this new upper tooling leads to a very different looking alt mode, which at first glance almost doesn't even look like it's a different toy. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. I mean, when you look at the wheels, that's pretty much what gives it away, but it's very impressive how they look so different in alt mode from all that upper body new tooling. Like I said, the inner working of the toy and the underbelly and the transformation is still more or less the same from the War for Cybertron one, and as a result of that inner working and underbelly leads to the same Matrix mold, the same Matrix chamber gimmick that's under all of that, so that's all still sculpted the same. And speaking of the Matrix, let's talk about accessories that are also included. You get that Matrix. You get 2 new blasters that go on the wrists of the character. Gone is the big War for Cybertron, axe weapon, which wouldn't make sense with this character in this iteration. But they kept the gun, and the gun instead was given a new piece that makes it held more like a traditional blaster gun or I guess ion blaster, instead of being like a more wrist-mounted gun like it would be in the game, per se, and the original toy. So it looks great, though. Again, I'm quite impressed with how much they retooled it and it looks good. But I don't know, despite the fact that it's probably the more impressive of the two, I don't know. I guess I just have a bias with that Megatron and a little bit of nostalgia for it because I loved that Megatron Origins book. And just, the fact that it has GoBot killing accessories is kind of cool. So again, like I said, it's a IDW-inspired 2-pack, but I feel like the whole point of this set, more than anything, is I also feel like the theming of it is trying to take advantage. Again, the Transformers 1 movie is going to be coming out not long after, and this is something that they could take advantage of a more, I guess we'll call it, mainstream audience that are now familiar with an Optimus Prime and a Megatron being friends before like this box says, fractures. And, it's something that I guess the casuals who only know Transformer movie product could kind of understand and engage with an ID and maybe would want to buy this. And of course, us who know that this is actually based off of a comic book that came out over a decade ago, well, we're going to buy it for that. I like it. I like it a lot. It's pretty cool. So let's talk about the deets according to Hasbro marketing. The Cybertronian truck Optimus Prime is going to transform in 26 steps. The gladiatorial Megatron is going to transform in 16 steps. And it's going to retail at San Diego Comic-Con for $74.99. How you get this figure if you are at San Diego Comic-Con is you have to go to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives portal website, and then you go to the Hasbro section. You get your ticket pre-ordered, so you pay in advance, and you get all of that on your phone. And then you just go to the Hasbro booth, which will be number 3213, and you just pick up your figure right there. For people that aren't going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, there will be stock available afterwards when the show is done on Hasbro Pulse in limited inventory, so get it while you can. That's just how the name of it. They're kind of returning to the old way that they used to do exclusives. Since, when the Big V came around, everything kind of went online because not everyone could go to cons. Now we're kind of returning to the old ways of stuff is online and whatever's left ends up on the store afterwards. So pretty cool. $74.99, about right for two new tooled Voyager classes in a lot of ways that are exclusives. So check that out. We do have more exclusives to talk about later today, so stay tuned for that. But here is just the Fractured Friendship 2-pack. Let me know what you think about it, and we'll talk again really soon here today on the Transformer Slag podcast. And as always, thank you for listening.